Good morning, dear students of class 12. Welcome to the English online learning class. Today we are going to take up the lesson On the Face of It from Vistas, Susan Hill, and we'll be taking up revision of this lesson. So let us begin. The play depicts beautifully, yet grimly, the sad world of the physically impaired. It is not the actual pain or inconvenience caused by a physical impairment that troubles a disabled man, but the attitude of the people around him. Two physically impaired people in this lesson, Mr. Lamb, who's a grown-up man with a tin leg, and Derry, who's a child, say of 14 years, with a burnt face. They strike a band of friendship. Derry is described as a young boy, shy, withdrawn, and defiant. Now, people try to tell him motivating, inspiring stories, but then that is only to sympathize with him, console him. No one will ever kiss him except his mother, and that too on the other side of his face, which is not burnt. Now, which Derry mentions during conversation with Mr. Lamb. He also mentions about two women in the bus stand. He overheard them talking, and they were saying that only a mother can love such a face. Mr. Lamb revives the almost dead feelings of Derry towards life because Derry is full of negativity. He motivates him to think positively about life, changes his mindset about people and things through his pearls of wisdom. When Derry, who has quietly come to Mr. Lamb's garden because he's on the lookout of a place where he could spend the rest of the day and not see people. Because he did not like being with people. He was so full of negativity. And Mr. Lamb, who is the owner of that garden, comes in. And then, although Derry is reluctant to talk and immediately wants to leave, but then somehow he waits there and gradually Mr. Lamb changes his view of life through his pearls of wisdom. He tells him about a man who locked himself as he was scared and a picture fell off the wall and got killed. Everything appears to be same but is different. Example of bees he gives and weeds in his garden. He says that to people the sound of bees is buzzing and irritating, but to him is music. The weeds, which are considered to be unwanted and are plucked out and thrown. He has grown weeds in a corner of his garden. The gate of his garden is always open. Derry gradually is inspired and he promises to come back. But when he goes to his house, Derry's mother stops him. But Derry, for the first time, is adamant, saying that if he does not go there now, it would be never. So, he is for the first time able to not only defy his mother, which would not be correct to say. Rather, he was able to take an independent decision. He had decided to help Mr. Lamb, and now nobody could stop him. When he comes back to Mr. Lamb's garden, he sees Mr. Lamb lying on the ground. It is ironical that when he searches a new foothold to live happily, Derry, because Derry has been transformed now. He has found a meaning in his life. He's a changed Derry with confidence, with optimism. But now he finds Mr. Lamb dead. In this way, the play depicts the heart-rending life of physically disabled people with their loneliness, aloofness, and a sense of alienation. Although Mr. Lamb puts up an act of bravado by telling Derry such inspiring thoughts which changes Derry, but he himself is suffering from loneliness as nobody visits his garden. When Derry questions him, asks him that who comes to his garden, he says Tom, Dick and Harry, which is sufficient to give Derry the indication as well as the readers that nobody comes to his garden, and Mr. Lamb, although he is putting up an brave act of bravado, but he himself is suffering from loneliness, aloofness. So we stop here today. You are going to write down the important points in your copy and come up with your problems, if any, in your WhatsApp group or Google Classroom. This lesson is coming in your monthly tests also. Now start your preparations. Tomorrow we are going to take up another lesson. Till then, take care and happy learning. Thank you, students.